Hello, welcome everyone to another episode of Ladies at UX. Ladies at UX Milan and Ladies at UX Barcelona is here tonight. And before we start our amazing event today and to introduce Juliana Proserpio join to the stage, we would like to introduce ourselves and talk about Ladies at UX. How is everyone going? Laura, Vanessa, Jumara, how is everything going?
Everything
Hi,
fine.
Mari. Everything
Thank
good.
you.
Amazing. So let's start. Today is a collaboration that we're doing between Ladies at UX Milan and Ladies at UX Barcelona. So we are very happy because it's the first time that we're doing this event together with the two chapters. So to introduce a little bit, Ladies at UX. Ladies at UX is an informal, friendly community that wants to um, ensure that women have the stage, have the voice to talk about design, also to promote these women to speak and to share their work with others. Also, it's a very important platform for us, especially to share our talents, our skills, and also to learn from others. We're present in more than 85 chapters, so 85 cities around the world, including Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. And here in Milan, we're the first chapter in Italy, but we have other chapters in Spain, like 4 chapters in Spain. That's correct. Or 3.
Yeah, I think we
Barcelona,
have
Madrid,
three. Barcelona,
3.
Madrid, Bilbao.
Bilbao.
Yeah.
That's correct. Amazing. So let's introduce ourselves first. I'm Maria Nozaki. I work as a senior product and service designer here in Milan. I'm one of the chapter leaders of the Milan chapter and also EMA director of Ladies at UX. And also to describe myself, I'm an Asian woman with black medium length hair. I'm using today a black dress using some earphones, and I'm in my living room right now. What about you, Laura?
Hi everyone. I'm Laura Morabito. I'm the other chapter leader of the Ladies at UX Milan chapter, and I am an UX designer. I'm a Caucasian woman with curly hairs. Right now, I'm wearing a gray jumper or something like that, and I am in my kitchen. And behind my back, there is a blue poster.
Amazing. So let's introduce the chapter leaders of Barcelona.
Yeah. So let's go. So, hi, everyone. I'm Vanessa. I'm the chapter leader of Ladies at UX with Jomara. And I'm a senior product designer. I will describe myself as well. So, I'm a white woman with short brown hair, and I'm using like a gray blouse, and I have like background just like some kind of white background. And yeah, my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Gilmara. I'm Brazilian. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a white woman in her early 30s. My hair is blonde. I'm wearing a black t-shirt and I'm standing in front of a white wall.
Amazing. So if you'd like to connect and also to follow us, these are the social media channels from Ladies at UX Milan. This QR code is from our Telegram group. If you want to join, feel free to join us. And this is from Barcelona.
Yeah, here we have our Instagram, Twitter, and the QR code you can find our LinkedIn. And also we left there the YouTube channel, but it's from Ladies at UX in Spanish. So we have some videos there as well.
Nice. Yeah, so we are talking from the YouTube channel Ladies at UX in English, but also we are organized by language. So we have also a YouTube channel in Spanish and also in Portuguese. So if you want to look up for us in other languages, it's possible. This is the picture of the last event that we did in person here in Milan. It was a few months ago and was really nice. You can see all the masks, but then probably in the next event they're gonna be off. And this is the email from Ladies at UX Milan. If you want to help us volunteer, if you want to speak in our events, feel free to reach out. Laura and I were going to be answering your emails and everything if you want to speak with us, and also from Barcelona.
Yeah, feel free to reach us out if you have any questions or if you want to collaborate with us. Feel free to send us a message, and yeah, we will be here to help you.
Amazing. So we would like to introduce our guest today, our special guest. So yeah, Laura and Jumara will join us by the end of the event.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you soon.
See you soon. So, okay, so first of all, I would like to remind that we are recording this video and it will be available on YouTube later. So if you miss something, don't worry, you can see it later. And please also write in the comments here where you are watching us from, because we would love to know where you are now. It's super nice to see there are always many people from all over the world. So if you can send for us in the chat, we would be happy. So I introduced a little bit the event for you to understand. So in today's meetup, we are going to host Juliana Proserpio, and she's a co-founder of Ecos, which is like an innovation lab, and they has been developing innovative learning experience, and also in the other side offering consultant services for people and organizations. So Juliana can correct me later if I'm missing something. And over the last years, Juliana has been working, developing like an innovation ecosystem in Brazil and Australia. And she worked as a leader in projects in many areas like healthcare, Internet of Things, constructions, and beyond. So super nice. We are super happy to have you here with us, Juliana. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions during the event, you can just put it in the chat. We will have a time in the end of the event to answer all of them, hopefully. And yeah, now we can welcome our speaker. It's time to welcome Juliana. We are very happy to have you here, Juliana. And yeah, the stage is...
Yes, sure. Only one reminder before introducing Juliana. So starting from May 9th, the design leadership program gonna be a course of 12 weeks that Juliana will probably explain during her presentation. So we are inviting you to have also a discount from Ladies at UX, 20% discount for this amazing course with leaders globally from around the world. Amazing. So she's going to talk about that later, and I'm going to put the discount on the comments as well. So let's introduce our speaker today.
Juliana.
Hi, Juliana.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for hosting me. Buonasera to Milano, buenas noches to Barcelona. I'm Juliana Proserpio, one of the founders of Ecos. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Mariana. And very happy to be here with Ladies at UX. I really admire this initiative, and I'm very happy to be here.
We're very happy to host you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're going to leave the stage to you.
Thank you, Mariana. So I'll start. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about design leadership. And as they said, please write in the chat what kind of designer you are and in which city you're joining us from. We always like to hear where you're joining. I could see there are people from Istanbul, from Barcelona, from very different regions in Europe and outside of Europe. So thank you for joining us. And one of the things that we're going to talk about in this topic of design leadership is also about securing the strategic value of design. So I'm going to be doing a very brief presentation on why are we talking about design leadership nowadays? Why does it matter? And why did we build and create this amazing global course on design leadership? And why this is so important? So I hope you enjoy. And if you have any questions, please, or any comments, please put them in the chat. We would love to hear them. So one of the things that is going on in the world, there is a huge digital transformation all around the world. You all know that. And this is one of the key factors why design has becoming more and more important worldwide. Not only inside big organizations and in tech organizations, but in small organizations, in startups, in governments, in public organizations, in nonprofit organizations. And one of the key aspects of it is because of the digital transformation and the overall transformation of what's happening in the world. And one of the reasons why we decided to do this and to develop this course at ECOS, as Vanessa mentioned, we have two business units. One is ECOS Innovation Projects, where we partner with different organizations all around the world, such as Google, Honda, Itaú, Natura, organizations with the government of New South Wales, the government of Australia. And there, what we have been hearing from different design leaders is that they are all living the same challenges. They are growing their teams because design became more and more strategic inside organizations. So they need to scale the teams from, 100 people. And this is amazing. But at the same time that they are growing their teams, they are finding it hard to place experienced design leaders. So the design ladder is being pushed, but it's really hard to find the right people. And we are lagging in terms of design leadership. And the other side of it is that many of the executive design leaders that we spoke with, they all were telling me the same thing. Look, we already reached kind of like the C-level and we are influencing a lot, but what is the next step? So the idea of this program, and not only of the program, but actually of this movement of design leadership, is to make ourselves more prepared to lead and to create impact through design. So I'm going to start sharing why securing the strategic value of design is so important and what we can do to do this. And to do that, I brought many of our design leaders, global design leaders, who will be joining the program. So you'll be hearing today from Juliana Peña and some insights from Bruce Mao as well, who are part of the program. So I'll start with Juliana Peña, who is the head of Alexa. And she talks a little bit about this digital transformation and what's happening.
There isn't a business or industry that isn't going through some form of digital transformation. And in that digital transformation, there is new business models emerging with new products and services. In order for a company to actually do this in a unique way, you have to have a CDO. A CDO, a Chief Design Officer, isn't just someone who's going to help you build your brand, but they're actually going to help build the organization that will make it work on behalf of customers. And while empathy is really important, I would tell you action is even more important. The ability to deliver a result.
So Joanna here is talking about securing the strategic value of design and to integrating design within the organization. And she also talks about empathy and action and how a design leader needs to act, needs to bring this force to create change. At the same time, Bruce Mao, who is one of our top leaders and most influential leaders worldwide, he talks about design and innovation in a different way. He says that as innovators, and he's talking about designers, we don't have the authority to force change. Nonetheless, we have the power to inspire change. And I brought these two references because they are talking about design leadership in very different ways. Joanna Pena is talking about take the lead and take action. And Bruce Mao is talking about inspiring and to influence. So what we know is that we are all aware of that, but change is power and design is change. So this is one of the reasons why design has become so important inside organizations. And securing the strategic value of design is a constant balance between direct action and influence. And it's not something that we learn usually in our design schools or in our practice. It's something that sometimes when you start to rise, where if you are a rising design leader, sometimes you struggle a lot because as Andy Polaine, who was one of our leaders last season, he talks about that there is a deep when you are a designer, that you are focusing on your craft, and when you become a design leader. Because when you are a designer and you are focusing on your craft and you become really, really good, you are excellent in this craft, being digital design, being product design, or any kind of design that you're involved. When you become a leader, your skills, your abilities, and the things that you need to bring are totally different. And we don't know exactly how to do that. So there is a gap in this space. So we also heard, and we have been studying a lot about design leadership. And one of the things that we like to say is that actually design is leadership. So why are we saying that? When I was preparing this presentation for the first time, that it was at the end of last year, I opened my LinkedIn and there you go. There was all of the open spots for design leaders only in Sydney, Australia, where I'm usually based. I'm here in Brazil now, but I'm usually in Australia. So there are many, many, many vacancies and open job roles for design leaders. But it's been hard to place and to kind of actually put these amazing people in these locations. And while we are seeing that, we are also seeing that design industry has reached a new level of maturity. Over the past 12 years, or even more, 2 years, companies have pivoted, adapted, and defined new business models. And this was possible because of design. And however, we have met this amazing moment in history where we are equipped with the best skills to actually offer what the world needs and to influence change. We have great responsibility. Teams have grown, financial investment has increased, and most importantly, the door to the C-suite is standing open. But do we really know what to do? How can we take the best in this opportunity and really deliver value, not only for the organization or for your users, but for society in overall? We're also living a moment, and this is from a reference from a book called Design Leadership. And they are talking about what we're living now as a competitive design parity. Because design has reached this new level of sophistication in the market, the design of anything from a facade to a shop front to a logo or to an app has reached these equal levels of appeal. So design, the more formal part of design has matured, and the differentiation of design nowadays will be more about strategic design. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to have to keep pushing the levels of design in terms of the more tangible side of design. So if you go around and if you enter, I don't know, a co-working space, a bakery, it doesn't matter where you are working and what size of the organization you are, your users will expect the same level of design maturity. Let's say that you have a bakery and you are building an app, you are a one-person shop, you are building the app, you're making the bread and everything else. Your users will expecting the level of maturity of your app to be the same as, for example, one of the biggest bank in your country. There are maybe 1,000 designers working on it. So the expectation is the same, and the levels of design is the same because of the accessibility that we have nowadays to build things. So here, for example, I wanted to ask you about this image and this space. What do you think that this space is? If you can put it in the comments, because the formal design sometimes is even there is this competitive parity and it's hard to identify we reached this level. So if you can write in the comments, I would love to know what you think that this space is. I'm not seeing the comments. Maybe there is something going on. So I'll keep going. But basically, usually people say, hey, I think that this is a co-working, or I think this is maybe architectural firm or something like this. And this is from the same brand that I opened the door one day, went for a walk in Sydney, and I crossed the same shop, right? And I was very curious. I didn't understand what it was. I thought it was a co-working space, then I thought it was a coffee shop, but actually it is a bank, right? So this is a community bank in Australia, and this other image that I was showing you is also a community bank in Australia. And why am I showing you this? Because this local business, they are creating the informal level of design. They are very similar. So it means that we as designers and design leaders, we need to differentiate ourselves in another level, in strategy, in social impact, and keep pushing for these things. There's also another thing that is very important to talk about design maturity is that usually we struggle as designers to prove our value. And in this recent report from Abstract, it states that 57% of the organizations expect the leaders to measure and report their team's outcomes. And that design leaders, they said that the ability to measure and quantify the impact of their team's work would make design more valuable at the organizational level. But still, we are finding it hard to prove our value to the organizations. And in this other report from McKinsey, they say that only 14% of the companies are currently setting quantified targets for their design leaders. So there are better ways using user test scores, operational metrics, financial metrics, and design's job is to help a company make sure that they are always thinking about the long-term impact on people. But how do we measure that? How do we keep pushing the value of design internally, and not only pushing the value, but actually delivering it? So as a design leader, and there is this book that I really like about Maurice Gigi's talking about the rise of the DEO, the Design Executive Officer. So usually these design leaders, they are someone who possesses hybrid skills of strategic business executive and creative problem solving, and is a person who puts the importance of design at the center of the company, a person who is a catalyst for transformation and the agent of cultural change. So as design leaders, what are the roles that you can occupy, right? So you can be the head of innovation, a design manager, a design VP, head of design, customer experience, UX design managers, head of product, and you name it. But it is now the moment for us to equip ourselves to really deliver value, because as at Echoes, what we realize is that if we miss this opportunity, and I'm saying not us in terms of Echoes, as if us, designers and innovators, miss this opportunity of really delivering value when we have all of the equipment and we are there sitting together with the C-suite and influencing organizations and society, we might derail the value of design. So we need to keep pushing the value. So that's why we created these scores. There is also what's going on around the world, that there is a change of service offering. So traditionally, the role of the designer was defined by the type of designer they were and the output they produce. For example, if you are a service designer, you would work mainly on the research and produce customer journey maps. But things have changed a lot. The roles and the outputs have been transformed as the design is becoming more critical for business. Sometimes if you are a product designer, you're also kind of doing UX, you're also doing service design, you're also acting as a strategic designers. And designers are now being asked to solve sticky problems of the world, something that we have been longing for a long time. So it is time for us to kind of up our game and our service offer, our value as designer. And then lastly, one of the things that we started to understand is that depending on where you are, on your context, you would understand what is your approach as a designer and as a design leader as well. Because depending on your level of your design maturity, you would be acting in one way or the other. So we developed this very quick assessment, and I'll put the link here on the comments later on if you want to check. It's for free. But we understood that there are a few levels of design maturity. The first level, maybe in the organization or the context that you are in, is the level when this ecosystem is oblivious to design. So maybe you will recognize that design is important, but still the processes don't support strategic design, innovation is ad hoc, and there aren't many breakthroughs. So if you are in this stage, maybe you should start creating a strategic design initiative. If maybe you are in level 2 as an organization, you are a design apprentice. So you are doing many things right, but haven't yet found your mark. The competition is fierce and the future is uncertain. So there are sparks of innovation, but still the focus is not very well defined. Maybe innovation is incremental. And then your strategy will be a little bit different to act as a designer and design leader. Maybe you are in number 3. You are a design and innovation follower. You are a solid innovator, but still competition is not far behind. The pipeline is full, though breakthrough opportunities may be outnumbered by incremental innovations. So you might need to focus on gaps and move towards. And the last level of design maturity is this design and innovation leader, and not many companies are there. According to Envision, it's only 4% of the organizations worldwide that are in this level. So where you are and the context where you are, the level of design maturity would infer on how you should act as a design leader. And basically, design is a business tool that makes strategy feasible. And this is our role as designers, strategic designers and design leaders. So one of the things as well that I think is important for us to understand is when we're talking about design leadership, sometimes we confuse what design leadership is and what design management is. And while design leadership helps define the future, design management provides the tools for getting there. This is from Raymond Turner, the writer of the book Design Leadership, that I really like. And I really like this definition because it really positions what is the difference between them. And I'm not saying that you cannot be managing while you are leading. Actually, you should, and you need to do that. But we need to understand these as different skills and capabilities, and they need to act together. So design management is about the designing what is currently managed, who does what, at what cost, to what end, what is currently being designed and what is planned for the future, disciplines that are being used in your team, the relation between design projects and the strategic aim of business. But then in design leadership, our main role is about envisioning, is about strategy, is about future vision and purpose of the business and of the design and innovation practice. So long and short-term goals of innovation and design. It's also about designing and defining design roles and responsibility, defining the org structure, managing design innovation and corporate reputation, about articulating the value of design in a way. And so with all that, we understood that it was really, really important to create, let's say, a higher rank school or not a program, let's say, for design leadership. So at ECHOS, we already, and at ECHOS, the School of Design Thinking, we have many, many programs already. We have design thinking programs, business design, service design, UX, social innovation, design futures, strategic design. But we understood that it was important to kind of bring a course that it was for design leaders and to help them navigate so many uncertainties that we're living nowadays. So starting very soon, like Mariana said earlier, on May 9th, we're going to start our season 2 of the Design Leadership. Design Leadership is a live program online where you would have 12 global masterclasses and 12 regional workshops, being part of this one global community. So I'll share a video for you to get excited about the program.
Design is leadership.
In recent years, we've begun to see that the most successful organizations are the ones that infuse their business with design at the core.
In our 12-week program, you will hear from and interact with some of the world's most highly regarded design and innovation leaders from across the globe. Our exclusive masterclass sessions will give you insights into how design leaders think and act in order to elevate design in their own organizations to deliver exceptional outcomes.
You will participate in more hands-on workshops with design leaders from your region, in which you'll be a deep dive into some of the theory and practical activities behind the masterclass topics.
The Design Leadership Program is for those who want to learn how to manage and grow their team, develop their design vision, act as an advocate and catalyst for design within their organization, and generally navigate the challenging yet rewarding world of design leadership. We know that the realm of design is constantly evolving.
Our biggest goal is to help you develop the skills needed to become a great design leader who can continue to navigate the ever-changing world of business and society over the next decade.
We hope to see you in Season 2 of the Design Leadership Program.
So this is the program. It's starting May 9th. This is a little bit of the program journey and all the topics. It's twice a week. Every Monday you have your global masterclass, and every Wednesday you have your regional workshop with all of these amazing leaders that I was showing before in the video. This is a little bit of our framework of the learning experience. These are all of our leaders that will be part of the global program. They are amazing. They were hand selected, and they are really, really one of the top leaders around the world. And we, as Mariana said, we have a discount for ladies.ux. And you can also, if you want, you can download our ebook. You can know more about design leadership. And I would love to hear, I don't know if we have time for questions, but I would like to thank everyone, and I hope to see you at the Design Leadership.
Thank you very much, Juliana, for this amazing talk. Very insightful. So we already have some questions for you. And also, everyone that's here, feel free to drop us a message and questions in the chat. But I will start with the first one. The first one is the design leadership about seniority? How to work on leadership skills as a junior profile?
That's a good question. Look, we created this program for two types of leaders, what we call rising design leaders and what we call executive design leaders. And if you are more like a junior leader, you might be this rising design leader. And one of the things that we think it's important for you as if you want to join this program is to think about, are you influencing change? Are you being part of any team that you can influence this team as well? Or can you bring value and strategic value to the organization? If you are somehow facilitating, if you are kind of managing, influencing an organization, a team, or the future of a product or a service, this might be interesting for you. And we don't think that necessarily the design leadership and leadership overall is about seniority. It is more about the impact of what you're creating, what you are articulating and influencing. So we see leadership more about influence than actually even the hierarchy that you have in an organization.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I have one more here. What are the main impacts of a good leadership?
That is a good question. What are the main impacts of good leadership? I'll be talking more about design leadership, of course, but I think one of the main impacts is about making sure that you are articulating the value internally and kind of keeping the strategic value of design in your organization. Then secondly, I think it is about creating an ecosystem that is virtuous and not vicious. So it's about understanding. We talked a lot about human-centered design, but what we are proposing in this new course is also about life-centered design that goes beyond human centricity, but it's also about sustainability. It's more about nature centricity, and humans are a part of it. So this is also something that we need to understand. The other parts of good design leadership is about making your team perform. So I think the big change between being an individual contributor and a design leader is that your focus change. It's not about the product outcome only per se, or about the service outcome per se, but it's actually about how your team is performing. So you are now an enabler of great designers and great creatives. So this is one of the big changes. And it's a different thing. You are still designing, you're designing strategy, you're designing culture, you're designing different outcomes. And of course, the result of your product is, of course, the last mile of design, that it's really, really important, but it's a part of the ecosystem that you will be leading and managing.
Yeah, nice. Super nice answer. So, yeah, we have one more. Let me see. If you could name just 3 skills for a good leadership, which would be an indispensable one or indispensable ones?
That's a good question. 3 skills for good leadership. I guess one of the key things of good leadership is about empathy. And when I say about empathy, it might sound naive, but it's not only about empathy about your end user, but it's empathy about all of your stakeholders, your peers, your other partners, or on your project or on your ecosystem, your superiors. This is really important, and because the empathy becomes a skill for you to navigate a greater ecosystem and how to influence a greater ecosystem. I think this is one. Maybe the second skill would be to be able to imagine and create and foster visions. So creating future visions and fostering visions for your product, for your service, for your team, for your organization, and etc. I think this is really, really important. And then I think that maybe the third skill would be to be able to articulate and foster culture, because this is easier, much easier said than done, especially a culture that has to live under the circumstances that we have been living, that has so much disruption, and keeping, let's say, because we are living in, as a leader, you might be under a lot of pressure nowadays. There are a lot of changes and pressures coming from everywhere, from financial pressure, from your team, from society, from your end user. How do you still are able to manage all of those things? Not only still are able to deliver, but still are able to create a environment that is somehow positive, not only for others, but for yourself as well, because it's really hard to navigate change and to lead in a scenario that we are living nowadays. Everyone is struggling, right? From any kind of ecosystem that I talk about, any kind of industry, from the news industry to the health industry to the creative industry, everyone is struggling. Everyone is living under a lot of pressure. How do we manage these things? How do we create better environments for us to perform and to be well?
Yeah, yeah. Great. Thank you very much, Juliana. We have more questions. Let me see. This one from Thais. Is it possible to have a design leadership that is less human-centric and more nature-focused?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Thais. Look, I think for sure, Bruce Mao, who is one of our design leaders from the program, he will be talking a lot about life-centered design. That's the kind of design leadership that he's promoting, and that I believe a lot as well. And there are some case studies about that are happening around the world. I was reading an article the other day on a magazine called Design Issues from MIT, and they were talking about how they changed the ecosystem in New Zealand to clean and to, how do you say, to clean and to clear a river that was really polluted out there. And in order for them to create this change, they needed to change the politics and the ethics of the surroundings. So one of the things that they did was to give a status to the river in the state, in the how do you say in English, in the government, that the status of the river was the same status as a human being. So the rights of the river were the same as a human being. And that was the only way for them to change the ecosystem. And this was part of an article on decolonizing design that I thought it was very, very interesting. So so it is possible. There are a lot of people that are already doing it. And I think we need to push the boundaries. We need to push the envelope on these things. One of the things that us as designers and as design leaders that we need to do is to say, of course, and push the boundaries, say a lot of yeses, but say a lot of no's as well, and be able to bend and recreate and foster a new environment and a new ecosystem so that these kind of things can thrive.
Perfect. Yeah. We have more questions. Let me see. How can the company foster design leadership?
How can the company
Foster
design leadership? I don't know exactly where is this coming from, so I'll have to guess where this question is coming from. But I think one of the things that we always say is about articulating internally the value of design and securing the strategic value of design. This is one way to foster design leadership. Of course, that upskilling your team, not only on technical skills, but also on strategic skills, and how do you manage and lead others? How do you open and create a repertoire? How do you create an org design that is able to make design leaders thrive? This is really important as well. But I would surely start with securing and understanding the strategic value of design tied up with the core business. I think that sometimes people, I've seen a lot of people doing the innovation theater that creates a lot of workshops, but there is not actual value coming out of it. So we need to avoid this as much as possible and really push for real innovation and for really real design leadership that is securing the strategic value of it.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, we have one more here. Let me see. According to McKinsey research, there are two issues related to design leadership. A lack of clarity about where and how the senior design leaders can contribute, and uncertainty about how much to expect of them in their role. What is your opinion, and how can this be resolved? This is a complex
I think they're talking about, I don't know who said that, but they're probably talking about the McKinsey just launched today the new report on the business value of design, but this was the last one from last year. And what they were saying is that most of the design leaders and together with their CEOs, the CEOs don't know what to ask to their executive design leaders. This is one of the things. And the second step is that we as design leaders, we don't offer clarity of what we can do and what we can offer. So this is one of the key things. And in this report, they were saying, hey, these are the things that design leaders can do. So I think that's correct. I don't think that's wrong at all. I think this is a great perception of what they captured. And I think we need to help bring clarity. And what I was saying before, that creating a vision is a way to bring clarity. So articulating visions of 5, 10, 20 years and articulating a strategy is a way for you to give clarity of what are the next steps. For me, design is all about that, right? So design is about changing existing conditions to preferred ones, like Herbert Simon said. And this is the value of design. So I agree, because if we don't give clarity, we cannot... I think we have been for years, I think it's changing now, but for many, many years, designers kept saying, oh, business don't understand me. I have a lot of value. Are you speaking the same language? Are you being empathetic enough? Are you really understanding what is the value that business is trying to bring? Are you understanding the core business? Are you working together? So I think we also need to adapt a lot, and we need to work together. We cannot just think, oh, we are the designers and they don't understand me. I think it's easy excuse, an easy way out, right? So I agree with that.
Yeah, completely. All right, we have time for two more questions, one more question. We are almost in the end of the event. I don't know if someone wants to ask something more. But anyway, I would like to thank you very much, Juliana. We have one more question. How to work the strategic design with non-designers, from Thais.
How to work with strategic design with non-designers. Again, I would love to know more about your context, because it feels like you were probably into something there that you want to know more. But I guess the basics, right? So where is the value for humans, for your audience? This, we can always start there. Understanding your ecosystem and the value and the need for each stakeholder involved in your context. This is working with strategic designing, making sure and bringing clarity of these things. One of the great tools and values of design is bring clarity through making things visual. So when we create a systems map, when we create a journey map, it's about bringing clarity to an ecosystem that it's not very clear. Also inviting them to contribute and engaging the different stakeholders to make this any kind of creation more collaborative, or any kind of speculation of understanding of a problem. You would be already working with strategic design with non-designers. The language for working in organization with non-designers is design thinking, right? Design thinking grew so much because it's a language that is accessible for non-designers. So maybe using design thinking as a language would help you to engage with non-designers.
That's perfect. Let's see if we have one more question. Otherwise, I will call Mari, Laura, and Gilmara to come back to the stage, and we can finish the event. We have some more minutes. If you already want to enter, Mari, Laura, and Gil. Yeah.
Hello.
Here they are.
Hello.
Perfect. Yeah.
I have a question, if I can.
Perfect.
If I can ask.
Go ahead.
So, for example, for designers who want to become also leaders, how do I do it? Where should I start? How, like, if I don't have like the job position open in my company, what should I do to become a leader?
I think that one of the main skills of great design leaders is facilitating. So if you can start to facilitate, I don't know, parts of your project, help to create a common language, help to create collaboration and engagement, it is an easy way for you to start testing your skills as a design leader. Because as a design leader, you need to activate change and you need to influence the change. And facilitation is a skill that is really, really important for design leadership. It's also a way for you to gain internal influence in your organization. Because when you start to facilitating any kind of either event or a workshop or a part of your project, you would be starting to give your first steps to get to know more people, to show your work outside of your box. If you're sitting in a table, separate to everyone, you would start to articulate the value of design as well. So maybe as a baby step, I would definitely start by putting yourself in your position to facilitating things, right? When you need to co-create, when you need to create a common understanding on a project or something like that.
Thank you. So I don't see any more questions. Please reach out to Juliana and please join the amazing course of design leadership from ECOS. So yeah, thank you so much, Juliana, for being here. We had an amazing time. I learned a lot, and I hope everyone did the same.
Yeah, thank you very much, Juliana. It was very insightful, and thank you.
Thank you, ladies at UX. It was amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
See you next time.
See you. Bye.
Bye bye.